Hello, Donna, Kato here. Welcome to my channel and welcome to my studio. Now, sometimes after COVID, I really needed a way to get myself enthused and back into clay. And when that happens to me, generally speaking, I reach back. And I reached back into something that's so basic, but something I like so much. And it really helped me get back into clay. You know what else has helped me? YouTube tremendously. Just having a channel and putting content up and having to put content up. And as a result, let me tell you, I found the real joy in polymer clay again. I rediscovered the things that all the reasons why I chose polymer clay, and I stuck with it for probably about 30 years. Anyway, so what follows is an excerpt from the class, Jumpstart Jellyrolls. And in it, I'm going to show you how to make this particular cane. Now, I decided to do excerpts because I am doing so many tutorials now. It's really helpful for me if I can lift some piece of content that I really like and share it with everyone. And, these serve as examples of a kind of thing that you will learn if you join the classroom. Now, if you want to see all of these, then you will join the classroom. The link is in the description. If not, then you just have another way of making a jelly roll. So it's kind of a win-win situation for everyone. All right, so I have said enough. It is time to begin. I hope you enjoyed the excerpt for the Broken Line Jellyroll. Okay, I'm back. Now, the way this is built, let us take a little piece off of this one, and I am going to take a very tiny, because this is going to be the end that we start rolling up from. So the little pieces of white clay on the black clay will probably be smaller. All right, so then I'm just going to position it on the sheet. And when you're dealing with something as thin as this, and I'll do it with the next piece, which is a very thin slice of the black clay. I'm going to take that, I'm going to put it right up against it. And I can't get my fingers in there to sort of loosen the clay. And because it's so thin, bending the blade or angling the blade forward doesn't work quite so well. But what does work is just ever so slightly pulling the blade back, and you'll feel the clay release from the blade. So let's do that again. Then just slide it up against the piece of clay before, then take and just pull the blade back toward you, and you will leave these very thin strips of clay on this sheet rather than on your blade. All right, so let's continue. The goal is not to make these pieces the same thickness. It's to vary them, both the black and the white. Okay. We're not looking for total uniformity here. We're looking for variations. All right, so you know what? I think you get the picture. So I will continue. And, as I go from this end to that, I will be cutting larger, the scale increases. So the pieces become a little bit longer. You can see in the cane how that happens. All right, so I will stop again and I'll show you what the progress is. Okay, so I am moving along. Now, you have to be a little patient with this. It does take time. And it is at this point that it'd be really easy to say, oh, I'm just going to make the pieces bigger. So I cover. It'd be good if you resisted that temptation. Believe me, I understand that temptation. I do. But if I give in to it, I might not be very happy. I think I gave in to some temptation there and there and there. Okay, so anyway, this particular cane is going to be, I think, scaled even smaller than this one. I could be wrong about that. I make so many of these. All right, so I'm still putting the tiny slices in. But now, every now and then, I'm throwing a big one in like that. Okay, so let me move on, and I will check back in. Phew, I'm done. I made it. Now I need a nap. Just kidding. Okay, so this is the amount of white I have left. So basically, this amount of white is what I used in black, because now I have a layer of that original black clay topped with a layer of black and of white. Okay. Now I'm working on paper because I might have to move it, and it's not so easy. This is thinner. What if it gets stuck on my work surface and then I have to get it off? So this is an instance where it's just easier to work on paper directly. Okay, so the next thing I have to do, because I've got all these separate pieces, don't I? They're all separate little slices of black and white. Let's join them. I'm going to use my acrylic rod and just roll. And you can see that I'm rolling perpendicular to all the little strips. Da, da, da. Da, 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 da. Okay, so I can still feel a little bit of lumpiness there. That's not a huge problem. Doesn't have to be perfectly smooth. I can put a little pressure on it though. Like that. Ooh. Okay. Phew. Okay, now we're ready to roll it up. How am I going to roll this up? Okay, so I'm rolling from this end to this end. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to angle this cut a little. I'm going to get rid of this black clay at the end. There's a lot of black clay. So I'm going to get rid of some of it, not all of it, because I will take that and kind of pull it up. You see what I'm doing here? I'm just sort of pulling it up. Now, I could probably make my life a bit simpler as well. I like simplifying. Shall we simplify? Okay, let's simplify. By tapering this further, it will alter the shape of that a bit, but it's going to get altered anyway. So I might as well have some control over it. All right. So let's do it. Once again, as I did before, it's the same start, the same sort of handkerchief edge start to the cane like that. Just slowly kind of coaxing it over. And slowly rolling so that I give that black clay on the base a chance to stretch as it starts curling. Gotta stretch, gotta stretch. Okay. Got to stretch. You can do it, you can do it. Now, one thing I did not do that is also an option would have been to soften the black clay more, because I did not use any softener with the black clay. It is conditioned as it was mixed, all right? Softening clay is not difficult. There are products to do just that. I've got a conditioning bar, you throw some of that in, boom, clay is softer. I have something called Blackout, which actually takes scrap clay, turns it into black. It's also a softener. You can pull that in. So why didn't I do that? I did not do that because when it comes to cutting the finished clay, to slicing the finished clay with this here blade, I get a much cleaner slice out of a clay that is stiffer. So I am doing a little more work, being a little more careful through this part of the process so that at the end of the day, when I cut the cane, I get much nicer slices, all right? So it's just kind of a sacrifice. Now, as I'm rolling, I'm seeing some tiny little imperfections like that. And part of it is because I believe it's because the clay, that black clay, is actually stuck to the paper. Remember, I rolled it like that. So I'm going to turn this over, and I'm going to just peel that paper off. Like so. Okay, because I really don't need it anymore. And because I think that's what was happening. As I'm rolling, the paper is pulling back on the clay, right? And as it's pulling back on the clay, it is tearing the clay just a bit, all right? Now, this is also, I mean, I'm probably going to get some of that anyway, because once again, I'm making this clay stretch in kind of an extreme curl, right? It happens less as I work my way down because the diameter of the cane increases. This is not a huge problem, not in this cane. Now, in another cane, it might be. In another cane that has an image that would really not, that would suffer from these minute cracks, the quality of the cane would change. Then you have to make another decision. Then you decide on whether you want to soften the clay to avoid that. So, but you see, as I'm rolling, because the diameter is increasing, I'm not getting any cracking because I'm saying, okay, clay, you can relax. You don't have to make that bend. I'm going easy on you now. And the clay is saying, thank you. Thanks. Thanks, Mom. Okay, so this is the odd end. So I'm just going to cut it. All right. Just like that. Okay, I can't help myself. I hum, I talk. It's not just the animals wandering through. I will try to control myself. All right, look. Woohoo. Let's take a slice. Oh, look. Ta-da.